Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm so happy that finally I'm able to record this video. This is a VR video to Fairy Light Tarot. This to the really fun hashtag that she prepared just in time for Halloween. This called Beloved Monsters decks. I'm a bit late to the party. There's been Halloween yesterday, but nevertheless I still really wanted to participate and record this video. Now I hope you will have fun as I did have fun selecting these decks with a number of different prompts. So there's overall 10 prompts based on the different characters and monsters from our modern day Halloween related theme, but the decks are not per se Halloween related themed decks. These are decks that are associated with the certain prompts that I find fitting. So the first deck, the prompt is the Frankenstein, a collage deck that is misunderstood but has a heart of gold. Now I've selected a Star Seeker Tarot. It's not per se like Frankenstein is almost like a monster. It's ugly. It's not ugly. It's a beautiful deck. The reason why I see it as misunderstood is, for some reason, I find that it's not maybe as popular and widely used as I thought I expected it to be. I absolutely love this deck. I did film just a few days ago a separate walkthrough when the Oracle came out. So it is a collage. I see it as a collage deck. It's not really a collage, meaning different objects placed together and photographed. It's more of a collage that it does have a digital art, and some of the textures are collaged and put in from a photography to kind of add texture to a simplified elements. So for example, like the water is the picture of the water that was collaged in order to identify the element of the ocean, same as the stars, the texture of the rock or the fabric in onto the clothing items. So I do find the deck not really as widely seen on the YouTube channel walkthroughs, or maybe the channels that I'm following. Maybe it's somewhere out there, but in my mind I feel like it should have a little bit more recognition, because this deck is definitely has a heart of gold. It is very gentle, it is very honest in its most loving way. It delivers strong messages but with its best intention in mind. So this is a Star Seeker Tarot for the Frankenstein, the collage deck that is misunderstood but has a heart of gold. Next prompt is the Dracula, number 2, a deck that is sensual yet sophisticated. For that prompt, I selected Jonasa Jaus 6th edition. I only have one edition. It's not like I have many of them. This is the one I got, and that's the one I love. I love the green backs. This is a medium size. This is number 9 out of 300 print. Sorry, apologies for my emails on the background. Now this deck is very sensual. It has flowers, has beautiful, I mean, it's based on the flowers. And the flowers associate with me with delicate petals and the different scents. It is very sensual figures, and it is just how the essence of the deck is very sensual, I should say. And Like, look at this card. It just fits that description perfectly. In terms of sophisticated, the shape of the deck is very elongated. It is special. It's not one of those decks that you're just gonna rough with. You're not gonna easily ruffle shuffle. I don't know if someone can, not me, but it is something that requires very sophisticated approach type ceremony due to its shape, and because of its shape, elongated, thin, it has some level of sophistication, as well as the art is done in a limited palette and very thought through color combinations. It's not screaming at you, it's not in your face, it's everything is working fine and thought through. So it is very sophisticated in my mind, the way it's done. So this is Jonasa Jaus, the Dracula, a deck that's sensual yet sophisticated. All right, so the next prompt, number 3, is the Werwolf. A deck that's best used during full moon. Now, I chosen the Somnia tarot, the first, not the illustrated, the standard regular edition, based on photography. It is based on actors it's used with actors, but it's really the creator and the friends that were participated in the photography sessions, and the deck itself, in the essence of the deck, is based on the creator's experience during sleep paralysis. And the way I kind of draw the parallel in my mind, the sleep paralysis, the insomnias, the sleep associated problems that many times in history, and there is a research done, that do appear during full moon. There is much more activity in full moon observed in humans as well as animals, and it kind of, that's why I guess I draw the associations in this deck. So this, just to share the deck, I trimmed it. It was really thick, not really pliable cardstock, really large. So therefore I trimmed the deck, and that's what you see. It's not how it usually comes. I then edged it in this beautiful golden sort of a bronze edging. So just something to note. Now, the artistic photography itself of the deck creates this misty atmosphere, which in my mind somehow brings me to the same mysterious feel that is experienced during full moon. When the full moon illuminates, it's sort of like a semi-illuminating, creating shadows, details are hidden and sometimes within the darkened areas, which leaves us to the imaginations and sometimes fears associated with that. There's a lot of fear does get associated with the deck due to covered figures. And again, it goes kind of with that same principle of they are covered, they're unseen, there are suggested outlines that are visible to the reader, but the faces or bodies are hidden. So again, the moon card, the full moon, there's some visible, there's some hidden, and therefore this deck to me really speaks to that specific prompt that's called, in this case, the Werwolf, a deck that is best used during full moon. Now, do I use it during full moon? No, depends. Like there's, as you know, you reach out for different decks, different times, but this deck to me has that mysterious, mystical kind of properties that I do associate with full moon. All right, so the next prompt, which is number 4, is the Grim Reaper, a deck that feels very final and unmovable. So this is my all-time favorite tarot, Noir, and I will explain how this deck fits this description and that's how I see it. So maybe to start with unmovable. So the way I see it, there are two ways how I see how description, literally and not so literally, for the word unmovable. So this deck is huge, and I do have small hands. The deck is super large. It's not easily shuffle. You can't just move it with you on the go. You can't just pop it in your purse. You can't pop it in your pocket. And sorry, oops, here we go. You can just like move around with it easily. So the other part of the prompt is that the deck is final. Now, how do I see this deck being final? Is it's something, this deck is really dear to me. I really got connected with it over the course of the time that's been working with it. Actually, from the first moment, somehow, you know, you find the deck and it just it just does this thing for you. And that is the one. When I saw it, I got really connected. I learned to admire it, and every time I use this deck, it gives me that feeling of coming home. I don't know if it's the right way to describe it. It almost gives me that feeling of the final destination. Here I am, I've arrived, that's where I want to be, that's where I want to feel when I use Terra. I want to be in that realm, I want to be in that world, I want to be here with it. So that's how I see this being final. And I guess the other idea of being unmovable, besides the fact that you can move it because it's large, it's not moving anywhere. It's not moving anywhere from my collection. It's here to stay, and therefore it's here. It fits the description as the Grim Reaper, a deck that feels very final, it feels unmovable, and that is Noir. All right, the next deck, number 5, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, a deck that loves water but is not afraid of getting dirty. So my selection for this is Way Home Terror. Now, Way Home Terror, here's the backs. It is more of a modern, fluid deck with simple yet direct images. The images chosen are directly tapping into our intuitions and emotions and bring out the meaning behind the card in the new and the unique way. Some of them don't shy away from getting point across, from showing us not the best side of human existence. Like, for example, this card, or this one. These are really strong images. It makes us accountable and it holds us responsible. It doesn't turn the face away from the reality. As a reader, I really do appreciate this unique quality about the deck. It empowers me and gives me so much to talk about. Now, besides the fact that, I mean, the description, it says loves water, it's not afraid getting dirty. It's not afraid to be confrontational. It's not afraid to kind of show you this is how. It's really direct. And then the part of loving water, I just find like the finish on the deck itself, it's really nice, it's durable, and the fluidity of the feel of the deck makes me think about the, something watery in it. Maybe I'll leave it with this card. Father of Cups, the Creature of the Black Lagoon. Here it is. Okay, number 6, the Freddy Krueger, a scruffy deck that has terrifying sense of humor. for that prompt, I picked Tarot of the Hidden Sun by Sabak Magazine. This is the cover. Very special. But this deck does not shy with its witty sarcasm and strong sense of humor hidden in every little detail. It delivers its message across in the most direct and unapologetic way. Excuse me. It's like taking to a friend that beyond of being politically correct and just calls things by their real names and could care less about filtering its vocabulary. I mean, besides the fact that it has a very sharp and witty sense of humor, very sarcastic, this deck itself, going back to that scruffy kind of a feel, it doesn't have a finish to it. It's not really feeling smooth. That is kind of makes me think about that, this scruffiness, and the coloration being black with silver, and the scruffy makes me think of that scruffy beard with like silver streaks in it, and yeah, so that's that. So that was Freddy Krueger, a scruffy deck that has a terrifying sense of humor. Here's the box. All right, we are at number 7, the Chucky, a doll-like deck that might stab you in the back. So to be honest, I don't have a doll-like deck. I'm not much of the cuteness decks in my collection, but this one of the recent purchases is the Squid Cake Marseille that I acquired from all of these great things I heard online, and loving Marseille style tarot. I thought, yeah, why not? Why not? Let's take a look. Let's get it. And it is one of the cuteness decks that I have. It is pink. It is very rounded with pastel colors, very joyful, full of hippie looking friendly people in green color. Holding this deck, it's like holding a toy. I have recently acquired it, as I said, but I haven't had much chance using the deck. However, something tells me that behind this all cuteness facade hides something really direct, and it's just a matter of time before this deck opens up, gets comfortable, and shocks me with its brutal honesty. But time will tell. It's still new, but it's sure the hell cute. So that is the Chucky, a doll-like deck that might stab you in the back. Number 8, the Zombie, an eerie deck that is hungry for brains. So this is the Shimmering Veil Tarot by Sheila Conway. I know this deck is out there and many favorite deck of many people out there, and it's a special deck. But I had this deck for, I'd say, 3 years or so, since 2020. The art struck me, it drew me in, and I had to have it. It is beautiful, it is definitely eerie. But the booklet, so I guess that's where the brain comes in, is the booklet goes, and the background of this deck goes a lot into this quantum realm. It's something like it goes into explanation how to work with it, the quantum realms. I don't know if you can see it. The lighting is not that great, but it talks about Carl Jung, it talks about universes, multi-dimensions, neuroscientism, physiology, psychology. Actually here, needless to say, many neuroscientists are convinced that once they have discovered the entire physiology of the brain, its complexities. So yes, there is a lot. There is a lot. I wanted to get into it. I love the art. I started reading it, and the deck took me on a journey. To understand it. Yeah, I'm just gonna show some images, and you see this is still in order, and I'll explain why. So to understand the deck, I felt like you not just need to tap into intuition, and by all means, you can definitely read this deck on intuition based. However, there is an additional level of knowledge that needs to be applied. It inspired the creator, and that's what she used, creating these beautiful pieces of art. But once I started reading this booklet, it took me on this long exploration journey. I started doing the reading. I got all these topics. I got lost with all this information. That was amazing. But I never actually, like, to understand all this quantum worlds, multi-dimensions, universes, all that stuff. Yes, I must believe it, but there's so much research, there must so much study done on that in order to understand it, you really need to not just learn about it, but dive in full on. So I never really properly used that deck because I felt like I couldn't fully grasp the idea. It wasn't the right time, it wasn't the right place, I didn't have enough in me at that point. And to be honest, it kind of intimidated me a bit, and intimidated the capacity of how much my human brain can really take. And I put that deck away. I put that deck on the side. I left it with hopes to come back to it when the time is right. I'm not thinking I'm gonna be getting rid of it. I'm thinking I'm still waiting. I like to have it. I will come back. Yeah, I will come back to it. I don't know whenever that takes, when I have that ability in my brain capacity and emotional right space, but it will to come. So, but for that reason, I feel like it fits the description perfectly. It is an eerie, and it is really hungry for my brains. So, the zombie, Shimmering Veil Tarot. Number 9, the Pennywise the Clown. A deck that's deceivingly whimsical, but it's actually very intense. So I have this deck, the Terror del Fuego. It's a used deck. By Fournier. I love Fournier decks. They're small, pliable, and this one is was bought used from this really nice girl I met in person when I got the deck, and I really liked it. And I colored the edges yellow. It is very whimsical. It's not just whimsical, it's like a wacky deck, and I love it for that reason. There are eyes everywhere, fire sparks, and interesting looking tattooed characters. Variety of, I mean, there's a boob pouring milk for the Ace of Cups. Eight of Swords is, yeah, wacky, whimsical, in your face, not shy deck. It has curious symbols that take your mind in some random places. It's very intense visually, and it's intense the way it delivers messages. I mean, this is Nine of Pentacles. Okay, Temperance. So this is my Pennywise the Clown, a deck that is deceivingly whimsical, but it's actually very intense. All right, so we are at our last prompt, the last deck, the Mummy, a deck that is covered in many layers. I have Earth Magic Hermetic Prophecies Tarot with me. So this is the cover. Now, this is something I have to say, the deck, I loved it. When I received it, it was left on my kitchen table. I had to leave the house. My puppy got to the deck and damaged it. So I still hold on to it. I'm still hopeful one day it will be replaced. I can't fortunately use it now the way it is, but I still love the images, and I want to have another copy of it. Not sure when I'll be able to get it, but overall this deck is based on the RWS system, more or less. But when you find other layers, like, and different, it's not just RWS, it is based on RWS, and that's when it gets layered. And that's why I picked it for a Mummy, a deck that's covered in many layers. So you start getting layered with different alchemical symbols, different almost additional symbols at the corners, the different references to the mysticism, scientific and modern day references, some cosmic themes, like looking at this, the world card. So because of what happened, my journey, unfortunately, and my exploration journey of this deck had to come to a stop. I know this is not a full stop. It is, oh, I love this deck. I'm just like looking at this now, and I need to get another copy. Sorry. So I do wonder where would this deck take me on, where I end up with this deck if this wouldn't happen, and if things will be different. I do miss it so much, and I hope I'm gonna get back to it. But yeah, speaking on Wheel of Fortune, there are many layers, but because it's based on RWS, there's a good start, and then you get to uncover the layers to understand and take you in the deeper levels. Yeah, so yeah, my heart kind of hurts, and I cry inside looking at this and showing you this deck, this beautiful deck, in this awful state. But it is what it is. It's still in my collection, still very dear to me. So that is the last deck of this really fun hashtag. This is the Mummy, a deck that is covered in many layers. So thank you for your time. Thank you for having fun with me on this hashtag. Thank you for stopping by and spending few minutes of your time going with me through this deck, playing with different cards, seeing my collection. Please leave your comments, leave your thoughts in the video comments below. I will be including links and names for all the decks in the description, as well as the link to the original video that was posted by Fairy Light Tarot earlier this month. Have fun and thank you very much. Have a great day.